What's going on, YouTube? I debated with myself as to whether or not I was going to do a follow-up commentary on that video I released yesterday. And I actually have a doctor's appointment I got to get to in a few minutes, so I'll make this brief. I figured, I couldn't hold it back because I had some other videos on the docket that I want to make here on Black Avenger TV and elsewhere, but um, given the response that I got yesterday, and also considering that Brother David Carroll said that he's going to be doing a video production series, assumably a public video here on YouTube and a rabbit hole production. I felt like I just felt compelled since I started this roller coaster that I needed to finish it. So, like I said, this is going to be brief because, we've been over this a million times. Now, y'all saw the video of this. He sounded like a young brother that bought his assumed girlfriend a used car. It looked like a Ford, I want to say a Ford Taurus, like a later model Ford Taurus, and she didn't want it. He paid $1,000 for it. He got it from one of those junkyards, and I guess in the junkyard they put some new parts in it to get it running, and she didn't like the way it looked, and she had the audacity to say that she was too cute to drive the used car because it was unattractive, and she felt that because she was attractive she couldn't drive an unattractive car. Now here's a female in sandals and a t-shirt with cheap weave in her head talking about she's too something to drive a lower grade vehicle, as if she paid for it, as if she can afford to get her own car. Now he said that she had already wrecked the car beside the excuse me, she had already wrecked the car beside the vehicle that he bought for her. And it's completely incredible to me how in the hell, because I see these hood rats out here all the time, and I see them in brand new later model cars, and we see them on Instagram. They claim to be going on vacation here, and got Gucci, Prada, and I know a lot of that stuff is knockoff, but it's like I'm left scratching my head trying to figure out. I know these females, they give blowjobs and stuff, but even that, even having a sugar daddy, where do they get the resources, to gather the resources to be able to get all these things that a lot of normal working people can't get a lot of the times? And it occurred to me overnight that because there is no shortage of Captain Save-A-Ho, not only niggas, but Captain Save-A-Ho females that will support these disingenuous, undeserving, ingrateful, self-centered, delusional, narcissistic females, that in a lot of cases you have raggedy basic looking chicks getting stuff simply for being females. It's not, in a lot of cases, it's not because they're single mothers. It's simply because they're female. That's it. And what I mean when I say Captain Save-A-Ho females, okay? Because it's not just these little niggas, that are propping these females up. It's also these women, like their mothers, their aunts, in some of the cases, their older sisters. You look out there, and I had made a video about this over a year ago. I said these black females, they're always complaining about how, the black communities abandon them, and, they have it worse of anybody. When you and that's all bullshit, because when you go out and you look on the street of any major city, what are you going to see as far as homeless people? 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a male begging. And more particularly, you're going to see a black male out begging, you know, out, in raggedy clothes. You know why those guys are out there and why you don't see as many females? As a matter of fact, the only females you usually see are ones that are strung out on drugs. You know why? Because there are women shelters, there's welfare for women who have babies out of wedlock. There's all kinds of assistance for these females that's given to them for free at the expense of us taxpayers. Okay? But guys, they don't get as lucky. Even if they have a child that they're in possession of, it's highly unlikely you're going to find a black man on welfare by himself. If he's receiving welfare benefits, it's through some female. Okay? So there, between the government, between these simps out here, okay, between these older sugar daddy Negroes, 50s and 60s that should know better, and these females that support and prop up these other females, they will have no shortage of support in a lot of cases. Support that they don't even deserve. Support that they don't even appreciate. You saw the attitude of that heifer. That heifer. I ain't even got to bring that back up. Her attitude was your everyday run-of-the-mill black American ratchet thought ass female. That's it. We've all been there. We all know this is true. They don't appreciate nada. Can't take care of shit, including themselves and their children. But always got something to say. Like I said, if that was me, that thought would have been lucky to have a bicycle with training wheels, let alone a whole car. I wish somebody would. Well, not now, because I'm taking care of myself, but I wish somebody in the past, when I was that young, would get me a car. Shit. And what helps it along, as I said before, is these older sugar daddy Negroes that are propping these little young thoughts up. I remember, and I'm going to end with this because I got to go. But I remember many moons ago, I worked at this production plant. And in the break room, for some reason, the white guys that worked there, they would always like go outside, near the lunch tables. They had some lunch tables outside and smoke or whatever. But most of the people in the break room, and sometimes the only people in the break room, would be the brothers, right? And so I'd go in there, eat my lunch, off to myself, have my own little table. But there were these group of goofy ass Negroes that would gather in on one side of the break room near the vending machines, and they'd always be loud and cracking jokes and talking about pussy and just the typical stuff that sports and the typical stuff that black men talk about, typical camaraderie. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. But one of these Negroes that particularly got on my fucking nerves was this dude. He had to be earliest. At best, he was in his mid to late 40s. At worst, he was in his early 60s because he had gray hair, on his face. He was balding, kind of, beer gut like. And this Negro, 2-3 times my age, and he's sitting up here bragging, talking about pussy payments, how he's trying to get overtime, how he has to do as much overtime as he can do to make sure he makes those pussy payments. These Negroes are so mentally disconnected from reality. Okay? They are literally paying these raggedy hoes for pussy like it's a monthly utility bill, bruh. And I don't mean paying for prostitutes. These little young ass thoughts, a lot of people don't realize that. That young brother, I'll give him a pass because he sounds young and dumb. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't even 21 years old. Okay? But you have guys like him that will go through life, okay, going well into, and me and several YouTubers have talked about this. They will be going well into their 40s, 50s, some of them even 60s, okay? Still running after these little young ass STD pussy infested thoughts that are, 18, 19, 20 years old. And that's just for the ones that, go after those that are barely legal, if you catch my drift. Okay. Subject for another video. But a lot of these guys that are out here screwing and dealing with these hoes, okay, are older men. This has been known for years. They're older men. They're about the black pastor's age. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them can afford, to prop these thoughts up. Most of these little young guys ain't got nothing. At least she had a little young dude that could do something for her. Y'all remember Jada Pinkett Smith's character in that movie Set It Off, when she was trying to get money to send her little brother to college, and she ran up on that older nigga in the alley. Y'all remember that on Set It Off with Queen Latifah and all them? And she was like, I'm in a bind, Nate. I really need this money. And then in the next scene, he was screwing her for $2,000. That's what's really happening in a lot of cases in these black communities. That's where these females, I figured it out. That's where these females are getting this money from. These older Negroes and these black females that are established. Some of them have degrees. They just give these females money. I see these females driving around, in Mercedes sometimes. And I know damn well this female ain't established enough to be able to afford no damn Mercedes Benz. They got somebody in their family with good credit, okay, that's giving them the hookup, or they got a sugar daddy. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna end it on that note. I gotta go. I'm actually gonna be late now. I shouldn't have done this, but stay tuned, guys. I got a lot more coming up. Talk to you later.